All right, what is up, guys? Welcome to the live stream. We are doing a live podcast this week. We have Steve Raiken from Raiken Profit. I've known Steve for probably close to 5 years. We've met in person a bunch of times. Just a really great guy. We're going to basically talk about how he got started. He basically built a reselling empire and has a $1 million net worth. So, what's going on, Steve? Thanks for being
What's
here.
up, man? What an intro, man. Man, I got to live up to the hype now. Yeah, we've known each other for a while, man. We go way back when you had your warehouse and you had your bulk book operation, right? Which I know
Yeah.
you wake up every morning and you miss it so much.
No, definitely not. I do miss some of the aspects of books. I it should be interesting. So for you guys who don't know, Steve is also throwing a book conference that I'll be speaking at as well in September. So I am kind of curious when I go to that if I'll be like, oh, I want to get back into books.
Yeah, man. Books are fun, man. I think honestly, books are probably the best place for people to start.
Sure.
Like if someone gets into Amazon, a lot of people will jump right into like wholesale or private label. And if you have no business experience, especially or no Amazon experience, that's like a recipe for disaster. If you're brand new, it's a great way to, obviously build and grow. And long term, it's probably like the best way to go, the safest, especially in today's Amazon environment where, they want invoices and all these different things. So, yeah, well, cool.
Yeah, so I guess we were talking about before that one reason I like this podcast today it works is John does bring these people on that I do not know anything about. So let's start from like how does your business operation set up like in general? Because I knew it like who you were, but I don't know if you're a book guy or an OA guy or whatever.
Yeah, so it's evolved a lot. Like I'll take you from back to the beginning, and I'll just do like a quick recap. I started probably like 11 years ago. I was dirt broke, so I'm 37 right now. I started my reselling business, I think around like 20, 25, 26 years old. When I was 21, I got arrested. I was a reseller, but I wasn't selling anything legal back then. Selling marijuana and stuff wasn't, it wasn't legal. Nowadays, like I live in Connecticut, like it's legalized. There's like shops open and stuff, but I wasn't like a big drug dealer or anything, but I'd worked my way up to a pound. Yeah, I mean, that's how I was making money for like a couple of years, just selling weed and stuff. And I ended up getting arrested at 21 years old. Got locked up, was on probation for like 4 years. And, yeah, my life changed very quickly. I realized that's not the life for me and let down a lot of friends and family and cost my family a lot of money just having to deal with all that type of stuff. But yeah, after that, man, I went to school, went to college. I was going to be an X-ray technician and got approved into the program, was ready to get started. And then I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Like I've always been kind of like an entrepreneur at heart, whether it was baseball cards, Pokemon cards, reselling that green stuff, which I'm not saying it. No, if you're a kid listening, do not do that. Right. But yeah, a couple of years later, I was like, how do I make money? And I started flipping bicycles on Craigslist. So I was following this guy, which John knows, Chris, the Bonafide Hustler.
Yeah.
So this guy was literally flipping bicycles on Craigslist. Like he would buy them on Craigslist and then flip it on Craigslist. And I started watching this guy's channel and I just started following everything he was doing. This was like 12 years ago. And I probably made like close to $20,000 that one summer just flipping bicycles. Like I'm not talking motorcycles. I'm talking like Trek bikes, Cannondales, rallies, 10-speed bikes. So I started doing that for a couple of years. And then I got into selling clothing on eBay. And that's kind of how I guess how I was known, probably, John, you would say, like on YouTube.
Yeah.
Remember, I was like all clothing. Weren't you doing that too?
I started flipping furniture locally, and then I came across your stuff when I was like looking to expand from furniture and like kind of sell some stuff on eBay and like do some thrifting. And then that's how I came across. I think I bought one of your guides,
Yeah.
like I think it was like belts to look for or ties. I forgot what it was. It was like 100 top clothing brands, and then I just hated the process of like thrifting clothes, and then ended up getting into books.
Yeah. So from like 2012 to 2017, it was like all Craigslist and eBay, Drew. Like that's all I did. And like I started my YouTube channel during that mix. And then I was like, kind of like John said, I was like, man, this is so much work. Like I have to find all this stuff at thrift stores. I have to pick each item one by one and package it and ship it to the customer. And 2018 is when like you started seeing all the Amazon courses coming out, like Amazing Selling Machine, and because there was like no courses about, like nobody was really doing Amazon like too much, like mainstream 2015, 16, like you didn't really hear too many people talking about. In 2018, it like blew up. So anyways, I got started with it, and I did books, man. I was just thrifting books. I still thrift books until this day, but I was mostly just selling books from thrift stores and stuff. But in terms of now, so my business has changed tremendously over the last 3 years. So I do a model that, a lot of people do kind of frown upon it. And there's risks involved with it, but I do eBay to Amazon. So I buy all my stuff off of eBay, and we could get into it, like pros and cons, good and bad. But in the last 3 years, so in the last year alone, I've done over $700,000 in sales, with about a 25% profit margin at the end of the day, like actually like profit, because the margins are a lot higher with eBay to Amazon versus like wholesale and different things, because the risk is higher and whatever. We'll get more into it, but that's what I do, man. I have a team of virtual assistants who source all the products for me, using different softwares on eBay. We send everything to a prep center, all the items from eBay, and prep center handles it, ships it off to FBA, and then, rinse and repeat. So that's been my model for the last 3 years. So it's a form of online arbitrage, but it's a little different than what a lot of people do.
Yeah, we just had Checkmate Flips on, and
so you already know, man. Yeah,
perfect. And we just got a masterclass on this, and we did a 2-hour podcast, so we learned everything there was to learn about it.
Got Miles in the house. What's going on, Amanda?
Miles.
We got Sadiq. Let's go, guys.
We got some heavy hitters in the house. Drop them in the chat.
Oh, back to it. I was just waiting for chats. Sometimes I forget we're recording. So why have you stick with the eBay to Amazon type thing instead of like branching out to anything else?
Yeah, I think at the core, and I've thought about this a lot, I think at the core, I love the hunt. Like I would say I'm a thrifter at heart, from going into Goodwills and piling through the clothing racks, which I did for many years, and I have hundreds of videos online. I don't know. I love the idea of like buying something low and flipping it high. And I've tried traditional online arbitrage, and it just wasn't for me. Like it was just so boring to me. I've even tried wholesale too. It's just I don't know. It's so weird. It's like, I feel like in my heart, it's like, I'm like a yard sale thrifting guy. And obviously this is different because that's so time consuming, and I've kind of evolved, and I do a lot of different things in my business now, but I don't know. It's just so exciting to me to be able to pick items off of eBay undervalued, whether it's making a best offer or sniping an auction or just buying something on a different platform and then reselling it. I know it's like kind of naughty, right? And like people frown upon it because there are higher risks. Like let's just be real. If you're buying from a thrift store, a garage sale, eBay, anywhere without an invoice, especially in 2024, Amazon is really bringing the whip down. Like they have changed over the last 6 months. You've got to be really, really careful now selling anything without invoices. So there's pros and cons, but I don't know. I just feel like it's like in my DNA. I just love it. It's just, I know I can make money with traditional OA and wholesale and private label. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't get me excited. If that makes sense.
No, I definitely get it. There's some about the like treasure hunting thing. It's like a different type. When I was younger, I definitely had that. I was like, I just want to find this like treasure of like buy it for $1 and sell it for like $400. And I feel like that's the same type of thing. It's like when you find a really, really good deal and you can flip it for a lot. I don't know. It's literally like treasure hunting.
And there's a lot of treasure on eBay, and a lot of people don't know how to find really good deals on eBay. And that's pretty much like what I've spent the majority of my time learning and really becoming a master at. And it's funny that you brought up Seth, because he's on the cutting edge as well. I've learned, Seth and I, we've done masterminds together. Matter of fact, Seth and I are sharing a speaking slot at the Books and Beyond event. We're going to be
nice.
Tag team in that topic. So Seth, I've learned a lot from him, and he's a super smart, like eBay to Amazon flipper. But yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of money to be made, a lot of deals. You just got to be careful with how you do it, for sure.
Yeah, I guess you got to be careful with anything on Amazon these days anyways. I'd say like every time I open social media, there's some dude getting shut down. I saw a guy that I used to talk to like 2 years ago, where I've been out of it for the last year. I'm not on the edge of it like I used to be, but saw this guy that did like $4 or $5 million a year. He bought an A to A flip and got shut down. I'm like, geez, man.
That's
like, I don't
crazy.
even know I don't know how much inventory he probably had on hand, but well over $200,000. Just such a train wreck to try to deal with that.
That's why I always like, honestly, when I talk to my friends and just people in general, like Amazon for me, I'll never put all my eggs in the Amazon basket. Like, and I put out some posts about this. Like I hate to say abuse, but like I use Amazon for cash flow so I can invest it in other businesses. I understand some people are watching and they're like, well, Steve, I watch all your videos. You say you can make money. Yeah, you can make money doing this. And people are probably thinking like, well, I work a job and I need this to work. And like, this is all I'm counting on. I definitely understand. You have to be very, very careful. But once you get to a point where you build up your Amazon business, for me personally, like I have no goals of selling like 5, 10, $20 million. Like I'm happy, like over the last year, especially like, there's months where, it's like I pay myself anywhere from 5 to 10K a month profit. Some months it's been higher, but on average, and some people might say like, well, what are you're doing 50, 60, 70, 80K. And some months you're only paying 5K to yourself. The people who crap on that, they don't understand how a business works because some months I spend a whole bunch of money. So I'm not paying myself. Some months sales could be a little bit slower, so on and so forth. But for me, on average, I'd say it's probably like 7 to 10K a month I'm paying myself. And then, I'm reinvesting that in other places. For me at this point with Amazon, I love Amazon, but I don't trust Amazon. And I think anybody who fully trusts Amazon, you're absolutely crazy. I mean, unless, I know there's people out there like Amazon Lit who they're killing it. He put a post out the other day, did $200,000 in one day. I think that's a different business. Like that's a serious major operation. I look at Amazon kind of like your YouTube channel. It's like a side hustle for me.
It's way different. Those guys doing like $5 million a month. That's like not even really not in the same stratosphere of like what most people are even doing.
Not in the same
world.
world.
People understand that really either. Like, I don't know if some brand flexes their Amazon sales, you're just like, whatever. And that's basically what Amazon Lit is like this massive company. It's not just some guy. We talk to him too. So it's like, yeah, it's not just him, he's a really big operator.
Oh, they're great guys. Yeah. I love watching their content too. It's like, it's very interesting to see like the size of their warehouse and all the pallets and products and, all the systems that they must have in their business, right? Like you could only imagine how many systems they have to run that business to do 200,000 a day in sales.
Yeah, I can't even imagine for sure. And yeah, I feel like I've changed my mind on this a lot too. And I brought it up when we were talking about Seth. So this year I'm really diversifying as well because I kind of just don't trust Amazon. I mean, it's a great platform and everything like that. So I've kind of branched out and did some other things this year. But when I always thought like doing the eBay to Amazon, I was like, I don't know. Like I want to try it or do it. I was like, it's way too risky. But now, like, people are buying from like Nike and they have receipts, and Amazon's like, no, like that's not valid. So it's like if you get away, if you can't even show them like a legit website, it's like how risky is not having an invoice at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on what you're selling. I feel like if you're selling used products, it's quite a bit safer. I was kind of on the fence with that, but after I've surveyed a lot of my clients and customers and followers, it seems like used is quite a bit safer. I don't really hear too many people getting in trouble selling used products without invoice. I mean, there's a lot of people who thrift and stuff, but it could happen. But yeah, if you want to be a bit more safer with E to A, I would probably stick with used products over new.
Are you doing all new?
Go ahead. John,
are you doing all new products then?
I'm probably like 98% new. But one thing to keep in mind is I do quite a bit of volume. I have Amazon health assurance. So if you keep a score of over 250, so if you do enough volume and you keep your score over 250 for 6 months, you have that Amazon health assurance plan or whatever. So you can't just get kicked off. So if you do have an issue, you'll actually get to talk to somebody and work through the problem. So that should be a goal of everybody. If you're going to do thrifting or E2A, get your volume up so you can get your score high enough to get that kind of like, I know it's called assurance, but I think of it as like insurance.
I used to think it was only like I've done some eBay stuff. And it's funny, I've never even called it that till you just said, but I've did some eBay to Amazon stuff, and I would buy it new and then sell it as used and try to find listings where nobody was on it and stuff. Cause I thought that was the only way you could do it. I didn't even know you could do new to new.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the last 3 years, I probably sold over 25,000 items from E to A. Now you got me saying it too. Yeah, eBay to Amazon as
You said it
new.
first,
So,
man. I mean,
yeah, man, we going in and out. But yeah, I mean, you just a lot of it depends too on how old your account is. Like I see new people coming on with like a new account and they're selling a whole bunch of items from E to A. Like you got to be careful. Like you have to work your account up because nowadays Amazon's handing out section threes like left and right. So if you sell too much too quickly and you don't have like a lot of selling history, they're going to ask for an invoice. They're going to hit you with a section 3, which essentially just means we can shut you down for whatever reason. We don't even have to tell you. Matter of fact, they don't even tell you sometimes. They'll just they'll throw an ASIN at you and they won't even tell you why. Show us the invoice.
Yep. We were talking a little bit about your YouTube before. You started what you said 10 years ago on YouTube?
Yeah, probably 2012, 2013. So over 10 years ago, man. My first video was showing 3 bicycles that I picked up off of Craigslist that I was reselling. I was living at home with my parents. So all the people who still make jokes on YouTube or on TikTok, it's funny. There was a video I posted the other day. This guy still lives at home with his parents. I moved out. When was that? 2016. Okay. So but the first video I posted back in 2013, I was living at home with my parents. I moved out at 26 or 27. But yeah, it all started there. Who would have ever imagined? Millions of views later, and it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
How are they like, because I'm kind of going through this now where I'm not talking about the Amazon stuff anymore. How do you end up like switching topics? Because obviously you're not talking about bicycles anymore. So are there like big inflection points where it's like, now I'm going to talk about eBay, and then you grow a little bit more, and then well, how do I transition to Amazon? Because what I always struggle with is like, is the audience going to resonate with my new thing I'm talking about or whatever?
Well, the funny thing is, Drew, I started with bikes, but I was so new back then. I only had a couple hundred followers. So then I switched to eBay because I live in Connecticut. So when winter hit, I couldn't be flipping bikes anymore. No one was riding bikes in the snow. So I switched to eBay, and that was like a natural progression. And I built my channel, Drew, around eBay for like 5 years. And my channel was growing rapidly. Like, I'm at 195,000 followers. I probably got up to like 120 or 130. And then I switched to Amazon because I was sick of selling on eBay. Like my heart wasn't in it for like a year or so. I was like making eBay videos, probably even up until like 2020. I was still making eBay videos, even when I was doing Amazon only, just because I felt like, who's going to want to watch this? It's like if ESPN started, showing like, I don't know, like music or stuff like that, or people want sports. So I switched, but my channel never recovered. So I can't really give you any good advice. Like my channel actually has really dropped off in views, subscriber growth. So like, don't follow my advice. But I will say, for me, I never got into YouTube to like get the most people to like me or to get the most views or to, I don't know, just like the goal wasn't to be famous or whatever. I was just sharing my journey and offering value. And obviously there's like ways to make money off of it and stuff. But I really got fed up with my YouTube growth and everything for quite a few years. And I switched like, to doing a lot more short form videos on Instagram Reels, TikTok, even Facebook Reels. And so I put a post out sharing the views that I'd gotten on all my social media last month. And on YouTube, it only equated to 1% of my views. All my other views were on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So, if you're going to start over, I'd probably recommend like really going hard into a different platform like TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, because with the short form reels, it has the ability to really go viral. And if something does well, they'll show it to new audiences, where I feel like with YouTube, I don't know. I feel like I'm blacklisted or something on YouTube because I have 195,000 followers and I feel like I could be a complete Dumbo and still get more than 300 views on a video. So I feel like they've completely blacklisted me. Whereas I could post a video on Instagram and get 50,000 views.
Yeah, it's weird. That's such a low percentage, like 300 views on 200,000 subscribers. That doesn't even make any sense. Like
over 2,000 videos on YouTube, and it only accounts
crazy.
for 1% of my views.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is just you switching audiences, and it's like, I didn't even know there was a crowd of that many people that watched eBay videos, but I have seen them. It is addicting to watch people flip on eBay and go to garage sales and talk about it. So maybe that's like the big crowd there. Maybe it's bigger than the Amazon space. I don't know.
And the reality is, like, to be honest, like I'm not trying to be humble, but the reality is I don't think I'm giving people what they want on YouTube. I think people want entertainment. And I've always kind of been a talking head on YouTube where like I like to share information and educate. And there's been a real big shift lately, I've noticed, especially since like TikTok and all the short forms been popping off. People don't have an attention span anymore. I hate to say it, but like most people who start an Amazon business or any business nowadays is going to fail because society is teaching people to have an attention span no longer than 12 seconds. So like, if you want to learn an Amazon business, there's so many little ins and outs and things that you have to learn. And I was saying before the stream, the video went live, mostly all my views now come from really stupid pieces of content. Like the dumber you can make a piece of content, the more silly, the more edgy. I mean, you don't even have to educate. If you entertain people with a short clip, it goes viral. If you give real, honest value, only 0.0001% of your audience is going to watch that because most people aren't, they want to get rich, or I hate to say rich, but like they want to make money. They want to build a business, but they'd rather be entertained and have fun. Yeah. And it's a tough part of just living in this world nowadays is like, if you want to be successful, you have to focus and you have to have attention to detail and you have to shut your phone off and you have to work hard and be consistent for a long period of time. But now society's training everyone to just be like a little mouse, like you're just running around for the cheese all over and you just never get anywhere. You have to focus. It's the hardest thing I struggle with all the time still. But if you could focus and spend even 2 hours a day, 100% focus on something, you're going to be a million miles ahead of the next guy or girl.
Yep. And it's like, it's getting the attention span's dropping as the difficulty of everything is going up. It's like the worst, like inverse of things that are happening. So that's when I was like stopped Amazon. I'm like, I'm going to go learn this new thing. I bet I can learn it in 3 to 6 months. That's what everybody says, right? 3 to 6 months and you'll be good. What I've learned is it's like far longer than that. If you're going completely new into something and trying to actually focus, and maybe you have to learn multi-layers of things. It's not like I'm just learning one thing. It's like going to take longer. It's like a battle I have to have with myself every day of do not quit. Do not get distracted. I hear we have this podcast. I hear all these business models. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if you're making $5 million a year, man. I cannot do any of this stuff. Because if not, you're just going to go down different rabbit holes and never focus on anything. It's horrible.
Yeah. And you have to be able to read through the bullshit nowadays too, because every business model looks the sexiest as possible. And I get why people do it. And I even do it on social media too. Like you have to, like, I don't lie, but like you have to position things and make it look cool because you have to grab someone's attention to be able to help them. But you have to, like, if you're looking to start something, even an Amazon business, like, you have to realize that it's not going to be as pretty and as beautiful and as easy as it sounds. Like anything worth, if you're going to become successful, there's going to be challenges. You're going to have to figure it out. And all because even like with eBay to Amazon, like, I might have a 20-minute conversation with someone at a conference and make it look easy or make it sound awesome. But I try to do my best to share like the pros and cons, but like, it's still a challenge. Everything, it's not easy. You have to go through the bullshit and get to the truth and figure things out, for yourself.
100%. This reminded me too when you were talking about these short form views. We had Crazy Flippin' Mom on. I don't know if you know her, but her perspective around the content and stuff like blew my mind. She was telling us that same type of stuff. These things just are stupid. They get a bunch of views. And she was like, I look at my comments and I used to be so mad because people would call me fat or they'd call me whatever. She's like, now I look at the comments. And if I don't have a negative comment in the first 10 minutes, I'm like, damn it, I'm not going to go viral. She's like looking for negative comments because she knows the more hate, the more views. I'm like, what a mindset to get to with that stuff. But it works for her really well.
Yeah. You've got to have thick skin, whether you're doing social media or you're selling on Amazon, you have to have thick skin. You have to be willing to get punched in the face nowadays. I feel like a lot of people, they get punched in the face the first time and it's just, they give up. I see it all the time. They just give up. You got to keep going. You got to fight through it, and focus. Focus is a big thing. I'm curious, how do you guys focus on your business during the day? Like, do you work off of a to-do list? And I'm sure, we're not all perfect. We have good and bad days, but like, what's your guys' strategy to be able to focus on a project or get something done or solve a problem, in your Amazon business or in your marketing business?
John, you go first.
For me, I usually try to get to the. I've been experimenting a lot about this, like going to like a coffee shop and like trying to get out and do like something for like 2 hours, like work on the actual business for 2 hours, usually like the day before. I'm like really into the influencer program now. So the first 2 hours of the day is like kind of dedicated to that.
Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon influencer program. And then kind of the OA stuff happens. I'll go to the gym, then do OA stuff. But basically for me, what I try to stay off of Instagram and Twitter like the first 2 hours of the day, 3 hours of the day, because I don't know. Sometimes like I'll get on Amazon or Instagram and you just see stuff and it just kind of like triggers you. And like, it's just not a great like way to start the day. It's like you're looking at everyone else's life, like not your own. And it's like, maybe I see like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this task. And then like I see Steve posted a video. I'm like, oh, what is Steve doing? And then like I go down this rabbit hole and like
he's at the thrift store scanning books.
No. Yeah, and then I'm just like, oh man, like how? So then it just kind of like distracts me. So I really try to pick like 1 or 2 tasks, work on that, and then probably the afternoon is more like reserved for social media or like DMs and stuff like that. And then like the podcast will do, but yeah, it's kind of all over the place. It's always changing, but I don't know. I don't really have the best answer, I guess.
Yeah. I think I try to go to, I watched a Sam Owens video like a few months back and it was like plan tomorrow today. That's like his big thing. So I tried to do that it helped me a while. I don't know why I stopped doing it. I think I just got lazy, but a to-do list, that really helped. Cause if I have a list of stuff to do, I can like really bang out the list. But if I just have to randomly do stuff and like these days where I'm doing so much creation, which is so much different than, working, creating, you have to dedicate time. You have to be focused. Rely a lot on stimulants, like just taking like random, like, I don't know. I have this kratom extract thing I got from some guy on Twitter. Like they sell it. That's pretty good. I'll try to cycle, an energy drink one day, a coffee.
You on the nicotines at all?
What is it?
The nicotines, like the Zens or whatever. I know a lot of people are messing with those nowadays.
Currently. Yeah.
I followed in. I went out of control with it. And then I kind of toned it back. But yeah, that gets me jacked up.
Yes, I try to do that kind of stuff and just lock in, turn my phone, do not disturb, and just do it. And I'm really bad about being consistent. It's like I'll have a day. Today I've been pretty good, but some days I'm just all over the place, just tired. And then some days I'll just work for like 15 hours straight. Like the other day I woke up at 8 a.m., got off my computer at 2 a.m. the end of the night. Just like barely taking breaks. Yeah. But that's like I can get 3, 4, maybe a week of work done in one day if I can really focus. That's kind of how I rely on it, which is probably horrible for your body, but whatever.
Yeah. How do you do it?
So what I usually like to do on Sunday is I'm big into taking walks to kind of decompress. I take a lot of walks. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I walk like 20 miles a week. Like I walk a lot. And a lot of times I'm listening to podcasts, thinking, but a lot of times I'll just have a Google Doc. So like every Sunday I like to go on a nice long walk, open up a Google Doc, and I'll just kind of let my ideas flow of like what I want to accomplish the next week. Like the actual outcome of what I want to accomplish. So typically during the week, what I like to do is similar to you. I go to the gym. My new routine the last 2 months is go to the gym and then go to Whole Foods. They just built a Whole Foods in my town, which is nice because I can go there, have a salad, eat lunch, so on and so forth. But I'll usually open up that Google Doc and I'll look at kind of like all the main things that I want to accomplish. And it's kind of gotten a little overwhelming recently because I'm building softwares, I'm running social media, coaching programs, membership sites, like the Books and Beyond conference. I have a lot of different things, and my Amazon business with a team of, I have over 10 virtual assistants from everything from running my Amazon business to graphic designers to developers and video editors and managers. And, we could get more into that. So I like to look at it as like pillars. So like software projects, social media, Amazon. And I kind of like to maybe focus on maybe 2 or 3 things each week, like things that I want to accomplish to kind of move it forward. And then kind of just sit down, and usually like when I'm at the gym or on my way, I'm kind of thinking like, what do I want to accomplish? But really no more than like, honestly, like 3 or 4 big things per day. A lot of people think like, oh, you have so much stuff going on, you're working 8-10 hours a day. I'm really, to be honest, like if I can get a good 4 hours of work in, like solid, like distraction-free work, like I could accomplish a lot, especially leveraging virtual assistants and having a team. And then the other half of the day, it's a lot of thinking, because I'm a firm believer in, if you have two people and you have one person who's just going crazy, working 10-12 hours a day, but they're not thinking, they're just working, like they're always just grinding. Whereas if you have the other person who's more strategic and they're thinking like, where do I want to lean my ladder against what building? Like I'm always trying to think like, where am I really trying to go? Like I'm trying to always figure out ways to work smarter and leverage other people, and leverage systems or leverage marketplaces. So I spend a lot of time just thinking and just learning and trying to like just make sure I'm doing the right thing. Especially as you get older, at least for me, like I definitely don't have the same amount of energy that I had in my 20s. So I've kind of been forced to have to become a little bit smarter. At least I hope so.
Wow. Yeah, I think the one thing you said, the 3 to 4 things a day or whatever. I think that I read somewhere, and this could be bullshit, but I think after you get over 3 to 5 things on your to-do list a day, you just end up not doing anything. Like having 3-4 big things is like maximum of what even people can handle, which is crazy because you'd think like I'm going to write 15 things down here. But after it gets past 5, it's just like, it's too much. I'm not even going to do it.
Yeah. And you could do 15 things, but you're just doing 15 silly little things that aren't going to move the ball forward. Like, whereas if you have 3 to 4 really impactful things, you can't just like fly through an impactful thing. Like you have to think about it. You have to strategize it. Like you have to do it well. It's not quantity over quality. It's quality over quantity. And you want to do a good job and execute on it. So, I mean, yeah. Good book that I recommend. It's called The Perfect Day Formula by a guy named Craig Ballantyne. He wrote a book. It's an easy read. You could probably read it in an hour or two. I've adopted a lot of his philosophy and principles in terms of how to plan my day and whatnot. But that's a great book. There was another book that I read recently that was really good. I'll have to turn my phone back on. I'll share it in a few minutes. But the premise of the book is essentially it's not about how many things you do, but it's what you do, the quality of what you do. Like you could do 50 different things that make you $10 each, but what if you do one really great thing that over the next year makes you $1 million, or you build a system that, can earn you income for years, so it's just, I don't know. Like when I was new to reselling and stuff, it was all about just being like a maniac and just doing as much as possible. But the older I get, I'm trying to become more and more strategic about what I do. And it's some days I only work an hour, but guess what? I spent an hour doing something that's really going to move the ball forward. And I don't know if you guys think like that at all. I mean, I'm not saying it's the right way. It's just kind of how I've been evolving, I guess, for the good, for the better or worse.
I agree. I think that's a good strategy for sure. I get caught too much, which I'm 25, so maybe it's just my young, dumb brain.
Oh.
I get caught up too much in like just doing kind of monotonous stuff that I'm like, this definitely isn't moving the needle. I could outsource this or whatever. And I'm just doing it for the sake of not being patient or whatever. So
yeah, this is the book. Sorry to cut you off.
very good.
By Dan Sullivan. 10X is easier than 2X.
Huh.
Really good book. Yeah, it's pretty much, it's like people are trying to do a million different things to 10X, but the reality is like if you just do a couple things really, really amazing, you could 10X your business. I mean, that's the whole premise. You don't even have to read the book.
Do you read a lot?
Quite a bit. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So I'm not going to lie. There's some weeks where I'm banging out like 2 or 3. And then there's like sometimes where 2 months go by and I'm like, okay, I've been listening to music for 3 months. That was a waste of time.
Yeah, I've been trying to get into it. I've got these like where I'm trying to learn copywriting and that type of stuff. I got these books that Gary Halbert, which is like really famous copywriter, recommends.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's just like, especially this old time, like 70s, 80s, 90s books, they're so tough to read. I'm not a reader anyways. Like I've never read books. I never studied in school, none of that shit. I've just been like video, even audiobooks. I struggle with those too. But recently I've learned that if I can do it at night and I can read it out loud, I tend to focus a little bit better. But reading a book out loud to yourself is a little crazy, but that's what
But you got to find what works for you. It's like back to social media. Everyone's trying to model and mimic everyone, but and I was having a conversation with one of my good friends and he runs an eBay business and he's always just seems to be like kind of running in sight. Like he's like a hamster on a hamster wheel. Like he just keeps getting the same results over and over and over again. And like him and I are really good friends. So, we help each other out in different things. But I told him, like, how often do you actually spend just like by yourself, like without your girlfriend, without the kid, without having people around or music on? Like there's a lot of value in just being really quiet or going on a walk and just having a Google document open or journaling or writing out ideas, like really thinking. Like people don't think anymore. We just act, respond, react, social media, short form content. If you can just get alone with yourself for 30 minutes, and whether it's reading out loud, right? But find a way to be able to kind of think and strategize. I think it's a game. It's changed my life over the years doing that.
It makes a bunch of sense because I mean, when does everybody get their best ideas? It's in the shower, right? That's like the known thing, and like that's the only time when you're alone. There's like a little bit of background noise. It's like the same type of thing, except for you have a Google Doc and you're writing it down as you're walking. I don't walk at all, but I've heard so many people recommend that. It's just,
I love it. It's so that's one of the biggest things I picked up from 75 Hard is like you got to do one of the outdoor workouts outside, and I'd always walk, and now I just actually love it. What's up? We got Mike, the used book guy.
Mike,
apps off his phone, instant level of productivity. We got Joji in the house. Oh, Steve's about.
Yeah, turn your notification. My girlfriend gets pissed at me. Sometimes my family does too, because I'll turn my phone on from focus mode to do not disturb or whatever. And sometimes I'm not even kidding. I'll forget it for 3 weeks at a time. No one can get a hold of me. Just go into voicemail. I'll completely forget about it.
That's another thing I actually did. I do turn on focus mode from, I think it's like 5 a.m. to like 12 p.m. And then it goes back on again, I think at like 8 to midnight or the rest of the night. So you could set it. You could schedule it if you wanted to.
I'm not the brightest bulb.
What about diet? Do you do that any with your productivity and stuff? I'm like a huge proponent of fasting. Like I fast every day. I haven't ate today. It's like 2:40. So, and I'll probably continue until I have to eat. Yeah. I've been on like 70-hour fast, that type of stuff. And it really clears your head in the morning. Like not eating a big breakfast. I don't know. I think not digesting food helps a lot, but
yeah. I've experimented with that in the past. Currently, I'm not doing anything like that, but I've noticed the benefits. I've done it before in the past. I've even in the past, I had done a 10-day juice fast, like green juice fast and stuff like that. Brutal. I've been meaning to do another one, but it's just like, it's the most brutal thing in the world, especially like I haven't done one in like 3 years, but I love fasting, man. I think most people don't realize how much energy we use digesting food. Like for me, it's an instant win if my first couple meals of the day can be light, like, so staying off like the rices and staying off, or if you're going to have rice or something, like keeping small portions. Cause if you spike your blood sugar, you're just going to crash. So for me, if I could eat lighter the first half and save my calories to the end of the day, it kind of actually helps to sedate me and go to bed because, have a nice full stomach. I know, obviously I'm not a health professional. Some people say it's good. Some people say it's bad, but I track all my calories in the Lose It app. Matter of fact, I know John and I, we've talked a lot. I'm down so far in the last year, a little over 20 something pounds or so.
That's amazing.
So I've been living in the gym 5-6 days a week, just crushing the diet goals and everything. And it's making a huge difference. I still got a big kangaroo pouch around my waist, as I call it, but yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. If you're eating like crap, especially before work, or you're spiking your insulin, you're just killing your productivity. You're crushed. At least for me.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I guess some people are different, but I don't know. I find it hard to believe that anybody could just eat a massive meal and then just like get to it. Like, it's definitely got to do something to your body. Every time I eat breakfast, I'm just like, a nap after breakfast would be great. Like a big pancakes and shit like that. It's like, this can't be good for me. Like, and I don't care about, like, I do care about my fitness a lot. I mean, I work out every day, all that type of stuff, but it's way more for my mental health rather than like physical. Like you said, it just makes a huge difference there.
It's like those guys back in like college, they would get like super stoned and like be able to work on projects. Like I don't smoke anymore, but when I used to back in the day, like if I took one hit, like I'm out for the whole entire day. But some people could be like productive, but for me, it's the same with diet. Like if I eat like crap, nope, that day's going downhill quick.
Yep. Anybody got any good cues?
Yeah.
I have one question.
Drop some questions, guys.
Amazon, Steve.
Philip. Will you teach me Amazon, Steve?
Oh, I know Philip. He's being a silly little goose. Philip, you're killing it already.
Funny.
Good to
How do
see
you
you.
go about making content? So you make a ton of content. Obviously, you've amassed like a big following, and I'm sure you have systems in place. Do you have like VAs posting for you, or you posting it, or like how do you
Yeah.
film it? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah. So for YouTube, again, I haven't really over the last year or so, I've kind of pulled back a little bit on YouTube just because I feel like it's getting to the point where it's almost like not worth it because the views are down so much. And again, I'm not in this to be famous. I'm in this to help people, right? And like the more people I can help, not only do I feel good, but I can make more money. I can get more people into different programs, coaching, like, so obviously it has to be a balance. Like I can't put all my time and effort into something if it doesn't help people and obviously doesn't earn income to be able to pay for the team and pay for all the different things going on. But in terms of YouTube, typically what I'll do is I'll record. I usually batch my videos nowadays. So I'll record like maybe 3-4 videos and I upload them to a Google Drive. And then I have a social media girl on my team. So I'll hand that off to her. And in that drive, I'll have the video, but also a Google document with like the title and like the thumbnail title. And then she'll disperse that to our video editor and disperse that to our graphic designer. So they'll get the thumbnail done, edit the video, and then they have permissions on my YouTube channel to post it out. So that's pretty much the process for YouTube. In terms of short form content, I do have a girl helping out with some of like the more, I call it silly content, like a 10-second clip with like a caption and stuff like that. She posts probably like 6 or 7 times a week, but I do probably like 70% of my content for short form. So usually I just sit down maybe for 30 minutes a day and just make a couple pieces of short form content. TikTok's cool. And are you on TikTok, Drew?
I was for a bit, but I don't really get on there now.
Yeah. The cool thing is like with like our type of business, people are asking questions about Amazon and stuff. And the cool thing is like, if someone asks a question on TikTok, I can respond to it. So like the question will come up on the video and then I could just make a response to it. And kind of my process now is I'll just respond to it like a one take. Cause I live this stuff every day. So, it doesn't take too long to respond. And then I'll just go in and chop it up and then put some B-roll over it. So I have an album in my phone that has like 300 clips of me like thrifting and sourcing and doing all this silly stuff out there. So I found that instead of just being a talking head and responding, maybe I'll put 4 or 5 clips within that 1.5-minute video with like me sourcing or kind of showing B-roll clips that kind of match up or a screenshot. So it kind of makes it more engaging. So I'll usually just batch out like 10 videos and then each day I'll sit down, put some B-roll and kind of schedule it out. So I mean, I don't spend a ton of time on content right now, to be honest. Maybe an hour per day.
How do you generate ideas for content if it's not the replying to other people? You have like a idea generation thing?
Honestly, right now it's going through the comments and looking at the questions and stuff for the most part. I also have a Facebook group as well. And, I've got over 1,000 students in one of my Amazon programs. So every day I'm having people hit me up and I'm answering questions or, a lot of my students who, paid me to come into my programs and stuff. We've now become friends to where, they're calling me and we're on the phone and we're talking and, just like John and I mean, we obviously were just friends. I don't think, I wouldn't call you a student. Maybe I was a student to you, but, once you get into the Amazon ecosystem and you build a good network, there's just so many ideas, but I don't put a ton of time into the content right now, just about an hour per day. And, once you get a bunch of people commenting and stuff, that's the thing with Amazon. There's a million questions people have. So it never ends and they're always changing.
Yep. For sure. So you're doing this, the Books and Beyond thing that you're the one putting this entire thing on.
So I'm one of the 4. So I'm putting it on with, do you know Avery Martin, Romer the Romer?
Yeah, we had him there.
Yeah. So him and I are putting it on with 2 other guys, Joji Davenport and Victor Galejo. So Joji, he was a chemistry teacher for many years. He just quit his job because he's been making over $100,000 a year profit, like paying himself, flipping books from Amazon to Amazon. Victor used to be a government job. I don't even know what he did. He can't even tell me. It's like top secret. But he does over 6 figures, and he quit his government job to sell on Amazon. So we've all teamed up together to kind of put on this event. So far, I think we have over 120 people with speakers and attendees so far who've already, gotten their ticket and whatnot. So yeah, it's a 2-day event, September 13th to the 15th. It's called Books and Beyond. Beyond is because it's more than just books. We're talking everything from books to media to board games, video games, Amazon to Amazon flipping, eBay to Amazon. We've got some online arbitrage people coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll drop a link so everyone can go check it out too.
Yeah.
There actually might already be a link in the description, I think. I'll double check either way.
But it's in Vegas, right? Man, right on Fremont Street. Have you been out there, Drew?
I have, man, but it's been so long, and I'm so bad with like landmarks and directions and stuff that I have no clue, but I'm sure I've been like near there.
Yeah, it's so Fremont Street, it's not the main part of Vegas. So like if you think of the main part of Vegas, you think of like Caesars and like like the Bellagio with the water fountain, and this is like 15 minutes away, but they have it's like the zip lining and stuff. It's like this big tunnel that goes down, and there's like casinos and everything. You had been there, John, right? Haven't you?
It sounds familiar, but I haven't been to Vegas in a while. I actually almost went to hang out with Jameson for ASD, but then I changed my plans. But because I was like, I'll be there like 4 weeks later for the conference.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. It's fun. Yeah, Drew would get in trouble. I don't know. Drew can't. He's gonna have too much fun over there.
Yeah, that's what happened. Based like that. I mean, last time I went there was during COVID, so it was just like kind of lame. Like I was like, this is gonna be so fun, and then it just wasn't because everybody had the masks on and every place was weird. But yeah, I haven't been back since then. I don't think. Is it Fremont Street? Is that old Vegas? Is that what they call that? Oh, yeah. I have been there, but that's both times I've been
there. Yeah, it's old Vegas.
That's awesome. That's my favorite place to go.
Yeah, but I mean, we got like over 20 speakers. We have a lot of speakers, that are going to be speaking. Caleb Roth, he I don't know if you know Caleb Roth. He used to be the owner of Scout IQ until he sold it. Resells is going to be there. David Chung, he's been 15 years in the game, one of the biggest bulk booksellers. Obviously, John, you know him. We got FBA Dave. You guys might know he's a 7-figure Amazon seller.
I know Dave.
Chris Green, I mean, he's like the OG of Amazon. Like what's that? What's the Scan Power? Yeah, Scan Power. That was like one of the first apps that came out, like one of the first scanning apps that came out. I don't know if you guys, how long have you been selling on Amazon for?
I don't anymore, but I started in 2020 and then I quit in 2023.
Okay. When I started, there was no like barcode scanners. Like you would have to download. So you would have to get an app and download the database to your phone. And you couldn't even use your phone. We were using what was called a Dell Axum 51. Do you ever remember those handheld pocket PDAs? So you would have to buy one of those, and you'd have to get this little laser scanner to put on top of it. And you'd have to download the database onto this PDA and go into thrift stores. I'm like, that was back in the Chris Green days. So there was no like live scanning.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was what, 2014, 2015. It's crazy how much things have changed. But yeah, Chris Green's going to be speaking. He's one of the OGs. We have a couple prep center owners that are going to be there. Frank Browning from Little Owl Prep. He's going to be there. Also, Virginia Center Prep is going to be there as well. Vishal Muti. I don't know if you guys know him. That guy does millions of dollars, I think, per month, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So there's some heavy hitters there. It's gonna be a great networking opportunity, and I'm excited for the people and also for Vegas.
Yeah, same.
That's awesome.
The used book guy. Are you still investing time into the influencer program?
So funny enough, Mike and I, we talked a little bit behind the scenes when he first started Influencer. I haven't posted, and we're in July. No, we're in August. I haven't posted a single video. I haven't posted a single video in 2024 for Influencer. In 2023, I went crazy and I posted like 600 videos. But guess what? I'm still making close to about $500 a month with the Influencer program.
Damn.
It was up to 1,000, but it's slowly been kind of dropping off. But I went nuts, posted a whole bunch of videos. I think I was telling you about it, John, last time we were talking, but I just got busy with different projects this year. And the thing with influencer, I think it's a great opportunity to make money. But for me, I'm at the point now where I don't just look at making short-term money. Like I'm trying to build bigger projects. And the thing with influencer that I noticed is a lot of the videos would make you some money up front and then they would just like die off. And I've kind of just moved on. And this, I'm not saying like what people should do, but for me, like, I don't want to invest my time in things that are going to make money now, but then not have like a long life span of making money. And that's what I noticed with the influencer program. A lot of the videos would make money and then they would just slowly die. And then you'd have to make another video. So, I mean, I could probably go balls to the wall and go crazy and get this thing up to $3 to $4 grand, but then it's just going to slowly die. And I'm going to have to keep putting more and more time to keep it going. So that's why I kind of decided to chill out on it a little bit. But if you need quick cash and you want to put in time to make money, it's a great opportunity. I don't know long-term how successful it's going to be, but maybe your goal is not long-term for anyone watching. If you just want to make money, I think it's a great way to make money now.
Because that was Victor's basic question. Do you think it's worth it?
I think it is worth it. But I also I want to put some context to it. I was kind of like, I wasn't making the best videos. I was just kind of quickly reviewing. So I think if you make really, really good videos and put a lot of time and effort into making fantastic videos, good quality editing, good thumbnails, like really hitting on all the points, it would probably have a longer lifespan than what I did. But there's one thing I don't have right now, and it's just time to put into like all different types of projects. So yeah, if you have the time, go for it.
Yeah, I've watched so many people talk about it. John's been doing it for a long time. Yeah. We had some guys on. Like from my perspective of this is, if you have time and you don't have money, this is like one of the best things you could possibly do. But if you have no time and you have money, it's hard to make it work like that. Very much so. If you have time, you can just make unlimited videos and then you just make kind of passive income to an extent. I know people don't love that term, but that is what it is.
100%. Dude, my mom, so you probably don't know this about me, but I helped my mom to sell on Amazon. She got started over 10 years ago. She's been selling books on Amazon. She does about $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So she's not getting rich, right? And that's sales. So drives people crazy on TikTok. Every single comment, how much is your profit? How much is your profit? Sorry, I'm not going to break down every single freaking video on my sales, what my profit is. Watch my YouTube videos and I share my profit. But she does around $3,000 to $5,000 a month, sometimes less. She's 69 years old. So over the last 2 years, we've had some people that are competing with my mom at the thrift store. Younger people, they're there all day long. They'll sit there at the thrift store, John. I'm not even kidding. They'll come in at 10 and they'll be there till 8 o'clock at night. They don't leave. I call them the scavengers all day long. They're just sitting there all day long. My mom can't compete with them anymore. She's 69 years old. She's got a bum knee. So a little over a year and a half ago, I got her into the influencer program. And she's I don't know how many videos she's up to now. It's over 500, but she's doing anywhere from $400 to $600 a month with the influencer program. And she's retired, so she's on Social Security, but it helps her a lot. And it's pretty passive. Some days she only makes $10, but some days she'll make $30 or $40 from it. I think it's a great program. She still does it every day. And she's so cute. Literally every day she's sending me videos and stuff. And like a lot of my returns that I get from Amazon, like my eBay to Amazon returns, and I sell high ticket stuff. Like my average selling price is over $100. I'll just give her all my returns and she'll review them all.
Right.
So she loves it, but she's always sending me videos of all the items that she's reviewing and stuff. And I sell some really silly stuff. Like I'll sell items. I don't even know what they are, like these crazy tools and automotive stuff. And like, she'll go onto the sales page, research it. And like, she's making a video about some some crazy tool. And I'm like, there's a mechanic watching this. And you got this 69-year-old woman saying, hey, today I want to review this Milwaukee 502. It's so cute, but it works. She's making money.
You know what I find funny about that is like stuff like that, or like people using AI and all this, and then the influencer program, that you got TikTok shop, and then you'll have Instagram come out with something soon, I'm sure. So I wonder when we're going to get to the point with all this stuff that like testimonials, reviews, that type of stuff just doesn't matter as much, because everybody's making these like, yeah, this this older woman is reviewing this tool that clearly she is not using, right? Or paying somebody off Fiverr. I wonder if we're ever going to get to the point of like, what is real? Like because people do that on Amazon too, private label companies pay people to write all these reviews. It's almost like what is the testimonial? What is the proof if you don't even know if it's real or not?
Yeah. And you just heard, I think TikTok and Amazon are teaming up now. So now you're going to be able to promote Amazon products through TikTok. Dude, I don't know if you guys know this, but back in 2015, 2016, I had built, it was probably around 2016, 2017. I had built up an Amazon business to over almost 10,000 a month paying myself. And I was writing Kindle publishing book. I was publishing Kindle books, and I would have ghostwriters write it and everything. And back then you could pay people to do reviews and all this stuff. And then Amazon started cracking down on it like crazy back in like 2015, 16. I think the government, like everyone was coming after them. It's interesting now because now they found a way to get fake reviews and pay people to do it, but it's not fake because they're reviewing it and they've got the product, but it's not real because they're just doing it to get paid. So it's like a wacky world right now. Like, what do you believe? What's real?
Exactly, man. I mean, I would think like there's got to be some kind of government interference with that stuff, because we're going to get to a point eventually where it's not even real people. You're just going to generate an avatar of yourself, and the avatar of you is going to review the thing. So yeah, it is weird, like long-term outlook on that stuff. And then how do you even know what to buy? I guess you got to really explain what the thing does well. Like the company really has to explain, like, this is what it does. Like, you just have to believe us. Trust me. We know there's 700 people reviewing this, but it's got to be an issue. Like in the next few years, we're going to have to see something like that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And you ever notice now when you're scrolling on TikTok, it's like everyone's just pushing everything. They're peddling every single product.
Yeah.
And you know what they're doing now too? It's crazy. I got hooked into this the other day. It was people are scaring you about, like, what if the grid goes down and there's an apocalypse? And I'm like, holy crap, what happens? And then like at the end of the clip, it's like, you need to buy the survival guide. And then you see it's a TikTok shop. Like, they just tricked me to get me to buy their book.
That's so true.
Not great. But I guess people have been doing that for years. I don't know. I think now where it's more like democratized, like you have so many people doing it, maybe that's when it would get, but you've always had people running ads. I watch stuff on Rumble a lot, Rumble, the platform.
Yeah. I never got into it though.
Yeah. It's more like these like hyper conservative influencers, but I just watched some guys there that just got banned on YouTube back in the COVID days. And it's so funny, man. I pull it up and the ads that they run on there are hilarious. Like, it's
talk about Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, I do watch them sometimes. Yeah,
Oh,
Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, those type of guys. I know people hate on those dudes, but I fuck with that stuff, so I don't really care. But I watch the ads on them, dude, are hilarious. Like these guys, like I saw one today, and this guy said there's been this digital dollar that's been inserted into everyone's bank account. You have to clear this out, like buy this program. I'm like, dude, there's no way people believe that.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy though. I follow a YouTube channel, a couple of them. You should look it up. There's YouTube channels with millions of views, and they pretend to be like an old lady or an old man, and like they'll click on certain things on the website, and you have people like in India and different countries trying to scam them. The things that people do, that's like a multi-billion-dollar business. Like, say for example, you get like an Alexa item in the mail. Well, say someone's like 75 and they don't really understand it. They'll click in Google like how to set it up. People will pay ads, and like because India is like known for this, like all the scams on this channel are from India, and they'll pay ads to create like a fake website. And when you click on it, you think you're talking to like, I don't know, Best Buy or Amazon, but it's not. It's someone in India. And then they trick you to install something on your computer, and they somehow wire money off like this YouTube channel. They pretend, and it's crazy, man. It's so entertaining. Like when I'm stretching at night, because it's a new thing I'm doing like 30 minutes of stretching at night. I'll put it on, and it's pretty entertaining. But yeah, people are gullible.
Yeah, it's awesome. They download TeamViewer. That just happened to my girlfriend.
Yes.
She's like, my computer just got hacked. And I was like, how'd it get hacked? And she was like, well, they called me and they told me this. And I was like,
no.
And luckily I was like, luckily you're broke enough and stuff that they probably didn't take anything. But that, like, people can fall for that easy. And nowadays, like where that stuff, the other thing about that social engineering scamming, I don't think people know this. It's not as illegal as literally like if I hack you and take your stuff. So the jail time and the penalties for doing that is not even as high, because you're not actually stealing from someone. You're just kind of like getting them to give you stuff. Still stealing, but the law is not gonna be bad. I know people in the US do it. too. I watched it like an interview the other day of a guy that caught someone. He's like, how'd you even get my stuff? And he was like, yeah, man, we pull this database of everyone with over $40,000 in crypto in whatever wallet. We call them, we try to get them to verify their Gmail, all that stuff. And then we just scam them from all their money. And he was like, I made 300 grand last month doing this. And it was like some 15-year-old kid in California. Because the guy caught on to it mid-call and was like, I'm going to record this, man. You got to tell me about it. And then started doing like a podcast with him, basically. Wow. But he didn't even know originally. That's scary, man.
Yeah, you got to be careful, especially on Amazon too. There's always people phishing, like with emails and stuff. Happens with Facebook, all these things. I don't click on anything anymore. Like I will log into my Amazon Seller Central. If I don't see something, I ain't clicking on it. Nope.
It is crazy. I forgot when it was. This is when I still had the warehouse, but someone called me and they said they were from Amazon and, you know, that there are reports that you're selling like counterfeit stuff or whatever. And they're like, we need your account information. Like they had an Amazon number too. It was the most insane thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't think they call or whatever. And I post on Instagram. People are like, yeah, they don't do that. And when I called Amazon, I was like, hey, someone, because I was like scared because it's like, I don't want my account shut down. If it was like for counterfeit. I called them. They're like, yeah, we have no record that like no one from here called you. And I was like, no, I need to know for sure. Like, I don't want to get deactivated. They're like, we're telling you no one called us. And then they got the phone number and they're like, we're going to do a whole investigation on this. I don't know how they would even know. Maybe they like looked at my storefront or something and like saw a review or like, hey, because I had a product that I did sell. So I don't know how they got the information, but I was like, wow,
well, I'm not going to mention any names, but I know a software company. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't know, like, but I know, for example, you can pay to download like a whole entire list of Amazon storefronts, like, and you can just put in filters, like they have this many items, they sell this much, and you could get a whole entire list and download it. So
it's so funny you said that. I was about to say that. I'm glad that you didn't say it. I was going to say the name on accident. I know there's a lot of them, and I don't know about that stuff, man. That to me, that's a little bit, I don't know, like messed up that those things exist and you can see like locations of all that stuff. And it's a little dark to me, but I get the point of it, but I don't know. I don't love those softwares that do that type of thing.
And now Amazon requires you to have an address on your storefront. So if you don't have a business and you're using your own personal, like people can scrape all that information and then use it for collecting data.
Yeah, I don't love that stuff. I feel like, I mean, I guess you have to verify like somebody, and the best thing to do is get a PO box, obviously, but yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah. Be careful.
Yep. Well, it's been about an hour here. Do you guys want to keep going? How long you got?
Whatever, man. I'm chilling. So if you guys want to keep going or if you want to wrap things up, I'm good for whatever you guys have for schedule.
We never have a schedule.
We never do. We just keep going.
You got it. What we should ask this at the beginning. This is what Checkmate said. I got some questions for you guys. Do you have anything to ask us? We want this to be a bit of a discussion, not just an interview anyway. So
Yeah.
An hour too late, but it's fine.
Yeah. What do you think is the number one thing for each of you guys? You could answer it separately. What's the one principle that you're trying to live by this year that maybe you've made a mistake in the past, but like for me, like the principle that I'm kind of living with is like health over everything. Like if I'm healthy mentally and physically, like that's first over everything. So like when I have to make a decision, like, oh my God, I have an opportunity to make money or work on my business. If I haven't taken care of my health first, I'm always like, that's a principle that I'm just living by. I used to be really fit and then I kind of let go of myself the last couple of years and I've been back on track this year and it's really been a game changer. So is there any kind of principles or anything that you're kind of living by? Maybe you're not perfect, but it's been helping you or serving you in your life or business.
You go first, Joe. That's a great question.
Yeah, that is a really good question. For me, it's definitely been health. I've definitely been putting health first. Go to make sure I go to the gym. I have a trainer. So just trying to, it's just so hard to like fall off track. Like, you know, when we were in Miami for the conference, like you go somewhere like totally different, like you have these habits and like it's so easy to fall back into just like eating whatever you want, like maybe not working out, like all that kind of stuff. So that's one for me. And then more so is focus. Just kind of like how you were saying before, it's like you could only do so much. Like I'm juggling like so many things. So I really need to focus on a couple things and not like 10 things, and
Yep.
also work on like outsourcing more and getting help, because there's just not enough hours in the day to do everything I need to do.
Do you have VAs?
I don't know.
No VAs.
No.
Oh man,
So
got to
that's
get you a
definitely
VA,
something I
baby.
need. I used to have one for YouTube and shorts and all that kind of stuff, but it's like almost, I don't know if it made the process harder. I think for me, it was just like, oh, it was so much extra work, but then we never really got in a groove. So I don't think that's fair to say,
Yeah.
but I think like setting up this system to make it make sense. I'll probably re-explore that, but yeah, I definitely need help outsourcing for sure.
Yeah, there's a time and place for everything, man. Sometimes it's not the right time to start your health journey. You know, sometimes it's not the right time to get your VA on board. But no, I appreciate that, man. What about you, Drew? I'm excited to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, I was really just sitting here like pondering on it. If there was one thing I could sum up, and I think it's really the reason I stopped the Amazon thing is because I started all this online business where I wanted to make, a lot of money. Like my main goal was to be a millionaire by the time I'm 25. Well, that didn't happen. But now the new goal is like I want to have, $3 to $5 million by the time I'm 30, 32 in that range. So like that's my big goal with stuff. I'm not trying to be some $50 million guy or whatever, but I think anywhere from 3 to 5 is important. And I think that a lot of stuff I was doing before just wasn't going to get me there. So now it's more about just trying to believe in myself that I can do it, because I don't think it's as hard as like people make that seem. It sounds insane, but I don't think it's that hard. It's just about being focused and not worrying too much about short-term stuff. Like kind of like you were saying about doing stuff that's like quick or whatever. Like right now, I'm not making a bunch of money. Like I'm just suffering a month over month. But I know that at the end of the day, when you come out the other side of that, there's like a really big reward for waiting and like learning a lot of stuff. And then all it takes is like a few big things to happen, and you can make 500K, $1 million really, really quick. And then it's like, okay, it didn't happen. It's not like a get rich quick, but
Yeah.
you do get rich quick because you suffered for so long. And I just have to like keep telling myself, like, dude, believe in yourself, that type of thing. Don't lose your mind because you're not making a bunch of money and you were last year or whatever. So
I got a question for both of you guys, kind of touching on that topic. Do you guys do any investing, or do you have any other income streams outside of, obviously I'm not asking for personal numbers or anything, share whatever you want, but do you have any other income streams or investments outside of Amazon? Because for me personally, so I officially hit the $1 million mark. Was it 2023, I believe, or was it this year? I don't know. I have both my goal boards, but I published it on my YouTube channel, and it was a big part of owning real estate and having money in stocks and like just the compound effect long term, obviously mixed with like making good money and stuff and reinvesting it. But I'm kind of curious, like where you guys stand, not in terms of like how much money you have. I'm not going to ask you that, but like, do you have any other investments that you're invested in or any other income streams?
you go first on that one too, John. All these questions he
Giving
asked
them all the hard ones.
Yeah,
No.
Drew was also, yeah.
Well, I can answer first if you want to think.
I'm just
No,
fucking
it's
with
fine.
you.
For me, I guess, I mean, obviously Amazon is my big one. I'm doing the influencer program, so that's another stream. I run a school community, so that's kind of another stream.
Which you're killing it, by the way, dude. Congrats on that. I know I
Thank
sent you a
you.
message
Thank you.
the other day, dude. I saw you putting in that work.
Yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. And then I kind of probably would eventually want to get into real estate, but the only other kind of investing that I do, I just max out my Roth IRA
Good.
every year. And then, yeah, save money, emergency funds, all that kind of stuff.
Nice, man. Nice. An influencer too, right?
Yeah, influencer.
Yeah, right now, I don't really have any steady stream of income. I sell off my Amazon stuff. Like, although I haven't been selling, I did like 10K this month on like accident, literally completely accident. I just dropped my prices. And so that's like my stream of income. I talked to my accountant the other day and he told me how much money I'd made this year. And I was like, dude, something's wrong. And he was like, no, I swear. And I'm like, I guess the combination of, I threw a big seminar myself back in April and that did really well. And then
Yeah.
I guess I've made enough money off Amazon, random stuff like that. So I'm up a lot this year, which is weird because I feel like I haven't made $1, but yeah. But that's where, but right now there's no steady stream of income or whatever. But I just got into investing more recently, like super recently, having the talk with my accountant. I don't know if I was just very misinformed or what, but I had all this money in my bank account. And I was so afraid that when I moved the money, business bank account, that I would have to pay taxes on it or whatever. I don't know why I had this thought in my head. Super dumb. He's like, dude, you've already paid tax on that money. It's your money. Just take it out, throw it into something. I'm like, I'm an idiot, man. You're right. Like I made all this money last year. I've already paid the taxes on it. So I've started investing now. I'm probably like 80% or so stocks. I use the autopilot app. You ever seen that thing?
No.
So you can track like Congress people. Like I have like 25% Nancy Pelosi, 25% in just Chat GPT that it picks, and then 25% in Citadel, that type of thing. It just follows their account like every month and it trades for you. So you pay $30 a month, it pays for you. And that's outperformed my actual stock portfolio, which is like where the other, I'm like half and half in each one of those. Outperformed it, just like the AI bot or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm just throw $2,500 a month into that or so. And then crypto. I was up like 20 grand in a month and now I'm back down to literally break even. So, but that's crypto. It's just part of it.
Yeah, you're 25 years old, man. I mean, honestly, these next 10 years are going to be huge for you. So, keeping that money in the market, man, as long as you possibly can. I mean, there's a great book, The Compound Effect, also Tony Robbins. A lot of people talk about it, but, even if you have $10,000 in the stock market and just invest like $100 a month, like you can go and watch videos about this. By the time you're like 50, it's gonna be like millions of dollars if it compounds at like 8%. Like you don't even have to get risky and trade stocks and do all that stuff, which I'm not telling you not to. I mean, but yeah, keeping your money in the market in real estate long term, man, it's being at 25, man. If I could go back to 25, that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, like I guess I don't have a big like spending, I don't spend a ton of money per month. So I have a lot to invest there. I did some calculation. It's the first time I've ever done it, is what you were just talking about, like doing the math on it or whatever. And like what I currently have in the market now. And if I keep investing at what I'm currently investing at, which I'll up it like a lot because I just have a bunch of cash sitting around too. I'll have like well over 1.5 mil by the time I'm like 33. If I do nothing, but just like keep making the amount of money I need to. So that's not the goal at all, but still, like, I guess it's nice to be in that position. I know all my friends around me, man, I've got a combined net worth bigger than everybody I know combined. Cause like my age, it's crazy.
Yeah. And you know why most people don't become a millionaire or never become wealthy? It's because most people, the more money they make, the more money they spend, and they don't focus. This is straight Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I see this with all my friends too. Obviously I'm in a different stage of life than you. I'm 10, 12 years older than you, but the older folks they make more money, but then they just build more liabilities. They don't have any assets. They don't, they'll buy stocks, but they won't invest it in like the S&P 500, which is obviously less. They'll try to get lucky. Like they're trying to get rich, and a certain percentage of people do, but that's like 1 to 2% of the people who do, which obviously, I mean, you were a 1 to 2% Amazon seller. You were a great Amazon seller. So I'm not saying you can't do that. And this isn't even about you, but I've noticed this with my friends. They're trying to get rich quick. They don't put their money. They don't make small little decisions. Like they overspend on everything. They buy a house that's too much. They can't afford. They buy a brand new $60,000 car when they can't afford it. They go into credit card debt. The credit card debt eats them away. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, man, that's been, I didn't really know like what you're talking about right there. That's something I've learned in the last few months, I think more than I knew in the last few years. I just thought that people had money. And then when I stopped the Amazon stuff, I just started asking people how much money they had. Cause I'm like, I don't know if I'm fucked or not. Like, do I have a lot of money or whatever? And then I learned that no one has any money. Like from people that are 20 years old to up to 45 years old. I'm like, you guys are all like sub 10K net worth. Like what's going on here?
In the mouth, 95% of the population.
Yeah, that blew my mind. Like I could not believe that many people, and it is, you're right. It's like every time they get a raise, my friend got a raise and I was like, that could be the worst thing that ever happened to you, man. Cause you didn't just get 10% a year richer. You probably just started spending 15% more and you just went negative 5%. Like that's what happens. They get a raise. They think it's way more than it is. And then you start spending more money. You get another car, you get whatever. It's like, now you're broker than you were before.
And it's hard because a lot of us are all suffering, mental health disorders are way up, most people are out of shape and unhealthy, like I'm trying to fix that in myself as well. Like we're all craving, to feel better. Right. And, what's the easiest way to feel better in the short term? Buy a new car, buy a new house, go on a trip, spend money. But what happens, like I remember 2018 was like one of my first years. I made a lot of money and I went out and bought like a Corvette. And I mean, make sure my girlfriend's not listening next door, but I'll tell you right now, that Corvette, man, it drew a lot of attention. You could take that for what it's worth. But after a while, getting the girls and having the attention and, I just felt empty. And I'm like, I just have this really nice car with a high payment. I had like a freaking, here in Connecticut, car taxes is crazy. I got like a $2,000 bill on it for car taxes for the year. I was like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, I didn't even like driving it that much because I was always scared I was going to like crash it or like someone was going to hit it. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. And I sold it for a Toyota Tacoma for like 20 grand. I've had it ever since. And it's like, you could spend all this money, but it's not going to fix your long-term problems. You're just, it fades very quickly. And then you just have a liability. So,
Yeah. That's solid advice. Luckily, I've never been a car guy or anything like that. I don't know what I was gonna, I think I just got saved, in this situation. Like around 2 years ago, around this exact time, I had made a bunch of, I think I made $35,000 profit or so on Amazon in August.
Heck yeah.
It was crazy. And I was shopping for new Porsches, I was texting all my car friends and telling them, send me cool cars. I got like $100 grand budget. Literally 2 weeks after doing this, Amazon lost a $20,000 shipment. And I was like, you know what? That probably was the best thing ever because I almost got myself wrapped up into a $1,800 a month liability. That's basically what I was going to spend on it for no reason at all. And I don't even drive, man. I drive less than 8,000 miles a year, maybe even less than that. I barely drive at all, and I almost spent that much money. So, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, man. But sounds like you're doing really good now and you got a good head on your shoulders, man.
I appreciate it. I'm trying, man. It's hard.
What's your thought process for wanting like $3 to $5 million? Because I always, when I hear people's goals, sometimes, and I'm not testing you, I'm just curious. Because I've kind of got a goal in the same range as well. Because I feel like if I had $3 to $5 million net worth, I feel like you can pretty much just like not even touch the principal, live off like 3 or 4% of it, just based off like what the market kicks out. And you could like, if you had $3 to $5 million, I feel like you can easily pay yourself a couple $100,000 a year and just live off that. But what's your thought process for like 3 to 5 million?
That, I mean, I think that 3 to 5 mil, I don't know where the number is. And you obviously got to adjust for each year. It's going to be different. You don't know. I don't know. You never know how the economy is going to go from here either. But I think at that point, I've heard it be called escape velocity, where you like can really escape the system. If you don't have a bunch of liabilities, like you were a true net worth with no liabilities is 3 to 5 mil, you've kind of like escaped the system. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. Cause it's like, you can just live off of like, and it's like, not just enough money to live, like a good amount of money to live and enough money to try to invest in something else and like blow it. That's kind of where I want to just like try new businesses. If it fails, it fails, whatever. It's like, I can waste 10 grand because I'm making it passively every year. So yeah, that's my thought process. That might change. I mean, I'm obviously young, but that's what you say. So I trust myself a little bit there.
What about yourself? What do you got for goals, man? Like, do you have a net worth goal? And don't just say it because like that's what we said, but like, do you have a goal in terms of like somewhere you want to be in the next 10 years financially, John?
Probably the same range. That's kind of what I was thinking, like 3-5. I feel like that's like just really safe. And yeah, I don't know. It is just a crazy to me that I don't know, when I first like started like working, like so I had a 9 to 5 for like 10 years and like had no idea I'd get into Amazon or any of this stuff or be able to like support myself, work for myself, live a good life, like selling stuff on the internet. So I do think like the 3 to 5 would be like perfect for me. It gives you like plenty of wiggle room. And I feel like sometimes like I don't know, maybe it's like as an entrepreneur or running many businesses, sometimes you just, especially selling on Amazon, you almost like never feel safe. Like it all like go away in a second sometimes, like selling on Amazon. So I feel like to know you're good, like regardless of what happens, I think that's kind of what drives it for me.
Dude, I want to get into Walmart in 2025.
Oh, sell on Walmart?
Yeah.
I've heard really good things about it. I thought about doing Walmart and then whatever I buy from Walmart, like review for the influencer program. Because like you can't double dip an influencer program.
Oh,
with the stuff
gotcha,
you
gotcha.
sell
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Amazon. So like I'd be like, wow, that would be like already built in. But I have to look more into it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no. All
I
you.
was going
brother.
to ask, did you? So you were dealing drugs at a young age. You obviously wanted money at a really young age.
Yeah.
What was your goal with like? Did you just want to be really rich? Did you want to be like free? What was your like thing about it?
Dude, that's a really good question, man. I wanted to be rich, Tony Montana. You know, I think a lot of it probably comes back to my childhood. You know, we were middle class, but I was raised in a Jewish family, and my dad is like the definition of, and I could say this because I'm Jewish, like he is super Jewish with his money, right? Like super, super. And it was like always a problem. Money was always a problem. Like we weren't poor, but like when I wanted something, it was just a pain in the ass to have money. And I think it did something to me at an early age. So like, I just wanted money, not necessarily to buy the nicest things. I've never really been like crazy materialistic or anything, but I think it's freedom, man. I can't say it enough. It's the freedom. And this is what I love so much about running an online business, Amazon, digital marketing, all this stuff is like, I could work when I want, and I could tell someone to go fuck themselves if I want to. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy, but everybody could be a nice guy, a nice girl. But isn't it so nice to just say F you? Like, I don't want to work. I don't feel good. Like Drew was saying before, some days he doesn't do shit, but other days he works 15 hours. That's powerful. Like, I don't give a damn how much money somebody has if they have no freedom. I want freedom. And that's what that's the one thing. And I'm trying to be humble here, but that's the one thing that I've accomplished over the years is freedom. Obviously not like full financial freedom or anything like that. Right. Like, I'm nowhere near 3 to 5 mil, but, freedom comes in a lot of different forms. And I think that's what I've always wanted money for, is to be able to do what I want when I want. Don't have to clock in. Don't have to feel like a little, like, I don't know, just like on the hamster wheel all the time. So for me, it drives me so freaking much every single day.
No, I'm the same way, man. I always had like a problem with authority and stuff. Like even when I was young.
Yep.
So I just like, I will not listen to anybody. Like I want to be able to say fuck off to somebody too. And then I think when I was younger, when I got into this stuff, I cared about being rich more because I come from like a pretty wealthy family. And I was always like, I don't want to be known as the kid from that. And my parents never helped me with anything, starting any of this. They've never gave me $1 or whatever. And I did on purpose. I'm like, I don't want any money from you guys because I don't want like people to say that I was, what do they call it? Silver spoon or whatever.
Yeah.
And that I didn't drive a super nice car. I was always afraid to even wear nice clothes and stuff when I was younger. Cause I'm like, I don't want to be viewed as that kid. Cause that's not me. Like that's my parents, but that's not like my money. I didn't do shit. I just got born. So nowadays that was my original driver. But then I realized like, that's probably not the greatest thing to try to outrun is like, conquer your whatever. But now it's more of the freedom. Cause it's like, now I can get to a point where I can retire younger than everybody else, which is way cooler to me.
Can I ask what industry your parents were in for work?
Yeah, well, my mom's been a stay-at-home mom since I was born, so she hasn't worked ever. She wouldn't like if I said that, but she works very
she
hard.
did nothing.
No, she was super hardworking stay-at-home mom. My dad was in the I don't want to say it on the internet, but it was a southern. I was in West Virginia, Kentucky, so that industry there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he did all right. Like he didn't own a company or anything, but he does well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Thought you were going to say adult entertainer.
No. It's like, I'm from a small town. So like you can be, if I moved there now, I'd be like one of the richest people there. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Because it's just like small towns are like that. You don't have to have a lot of money there.
Nice.
That's a good point.
A mom is like a full-time job with shitty pay, they say. Yeah. I would say my mom would not say that. She gets paid pretty. She gets whatever she wants all the time. So it works out for her.
That's hilarious.
What else do we got here? Hour and 20 in. Anybody got anything else good? Any more deep questions?
Oh man, I could go deep for a long time with these questions, man.
You've been good. Keep ripping them, man. These are good.
Oh man.
Well, before we forget, we are going to do, I totally forgot to do this at the beginning. We're doing a fourth quarter masterclass next Tuesday in the school community. Drew is going to give away all his ASINs from last Q4 and the prior Q4 if you attend the call live. It will be Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday. All you got to do is join the Advanced Arbitrage Tactics School community. And yeah, he'll send you a very nice Inventory Labs CSV file. And we'll be live sourcing and doing all that stuff too.
And for anybody listening, I made like 120K in October or November and December of those 2 years combined. So it's a lot of money. Now, are those ASINs going to be good? I checked through a lot of them. Like they're just kind of trash. But what I'll do is I'll go over my thought process behind why I did that and why I went so deep on some of the stuff I did. And you're never going to get that anywhere else because I don't give a shit to give them away because I don't need them anymore.
He's a retired man now.
Yeah, it's been so much leverage, man. I can just like talk about Amazon, not care because I don't have to worry. I can tell the stories about my ASINs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Before it's like, oh, you kind of can't like say everything. In your situation, you probably can because you're doing eBay. But most OA guys, it's like you don't want to burn your loops.
Yeah, man. Replens, not to go down a rabbit hole, but I feel like a lot of people don't realize the value of a replen. So many people are they're trying to reinvent the wheel every time. Find a new product. Sometimes it's just about finding a couple really good products. I mean, in my business, 95% of the items I flip from eBay to Amazon, I've flipped them before. I'm rarely flipping stuff I haven't sold before anymore.
Money. Like I said, I hate you with $500 so we could skip the raffle. Just attend the call. I'll have an upsell. I'm a marketing guy. I'll have an upsell. Count me in on that one.
What are you building your funnels with? Are you using ClickFunnels or are you using...
Oh, dude, that's a great question. I used ClickFunnels originally, but man, that just sucks compared to Go High Level. I highly recommend Go High Level.
Dude, everybody switched, man. You see how the community turned on ClickFunnels like crazy. Like I don't know what Russell Brunson did, but he was God to everybody. And what happened over the last year? Why'd everybody abandon him?
Because he didn't put anything back into the product. I think I have an objective view of this because I'm so brand new. Like I've never worked on ClickFunnels, never worked on any of that stuff to the last 6 months. I've done them both now. It is not even a comparison. Go High Level is 50 times better in every aspect. Like there's not even one aspect of ClickFunnels that's better that I've found so far. And the problem is like it's way cheaper. So Go High Level is $97. You have your email automations. You have they just now ripped off school, so they're going to get sued for that. They have school inside of Go High Level. Go High Level
business. No.
Yeah, well, all Go High Level does is just rip off other companies, so they get sued all the time. They're getting sued by ClickFunnels now, like a lot of money.
Oh wow!
But yeah, so High Level is it's harder to get into it, but the funnel builder, email automations, all you pay is the $97. With ClickFunnels, you have to do 97 plus your email thing plus. Well, all the other shit you got to get with ClickFunnels if you want to add anything to it. So
yeah, I'm at $300 a month with ClickFunnels because we have like the affiliate program and all that stuff. But I hired someone very quickly, a developer, to run ClickFunnels because it is so clunky and there's a lot of coding. They make it seem like it's so simple out of the box, but you need like a 5-year degree to do it. I swear.
I recommend Go High Level, man. It's tough to make the switch, obviously, but you would immediately drop your costs and add more stuff. And it's way more. So one thing too that's in there is like a lead flow. So like people sign up for the emails, they get tagged as like a new lead or whatever. And I don't know if you use a software for that already, but it all just happens on one software. So you can just kind of like click around in there and do that type of stuff. And you could say, are they hot right now? Are they about to buy? Are they whatever?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. But yeah, I found it so interesting because ClickFunnels was like, everybody was just bowing down. And yeah, it's very interesting how times change, and it almost kind of feels like people are going to be doing that with Amazon to Walmart. I don't know. I see a lot of people. I'm not talking about like the sellers who are doing like less than 10,000 a month, because I still think Amazon's great for thrifting and doing all that stuff. But a lot of the bigger sellers, I notice like Amazon's squeezing what they did with the optimized shipments just recently with all the fees, the return shipping, the overall everything. Like they're just making it so much harder now. It's almost like they want us to leave.
Yep. Yeah, when you don't treat your customers good, you don't. And another thing is like, I think these platforms, they have to keep upgrading. And Go High Level literally upgrades every month. ClickFunnels, Amazon, it's like they're not upgrading, and it's like, I don't know, like Amazon kicking people off, that type of stuff. You're going to obviously kill your customer base when you're not focused on them. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what happens with a lot of those things.
You guys should definitely check out your guys' school or John's school. Are you guys together on the school or just
no? I'm just a guest this
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, man. I've been hearing good things, man, about it, man. So I'm proud of you for what you built, man. That's great.
Thanks. I appreciate that. What makes you want to go to Walmart? You said in 2025, you want to look at it.
Well, I feel like, especially with what I'm doing, I think the bigger you get, I'm not even gonna go with that angle. I'm just gonna say in general, I don't care if you're doing eBay to Amazon, thrifting, whatever you're doing. Like, there's just so many Section 3s, and maybe it's a phase that's going on, but they're just kicking a lot of people off recently. They're gating a lot of products. I don't know if you've dealt with that, John, where you've been selling a product for years and then they just restrict you on it for no reason. I don't know, man. It just seems like I think I feel like there's a gold rush that's going to occur on Walmart for the next few years until they start implementing all their bullshit rules as well. Every platform does. TikTok Shop right now, everybody's killing it. And then they're going to make all these crazy rules and cut everybody out. The same with the influencer program. Like, there's these short periods of time where you crush it. And like, obviously there's still a ton of money to be made on Amazon, but the squeeze is on and you could feel it. Anyone who says there's no squeeze, they're lying or trying to sell you something. There's a major squeeze going on right now.
I'm so happy you say that.
Yeah.
I feel like I say it. I'm like, man, I might not even carry any weight since I don't actually sell anymore. But that's why I quit. It's because I can feel that. It's like you keep putting your chips on it. It's like playing poker. You just keep putting it in. It's like, dude, you got to eventually walk away like to what you're doing or scale down, because at any moment they could just pull the rug on you. And if you have your whole net worth on Amazon every month, what is going to happen? Yeah, I have like a theory about it. Maybe you can let me know your thoughts.
I'd love to hear.
Yeah, so I think that what's happened is Amazon is more so trying to compete with like streaming services, like I was going to say TikTok Shop, but I mean, that they're adding that into it, influencer type stuff, and then also as Shopify. So Amazon's trying to become Shopify and take that market share of like you host your products and your stuff on that website. And a lot of companies already do that. A lot of them are sole Amazon brands. I think they're trying to take that. And when you're trying to make a brand centric platform, you really have to focus on not letting stuff pollute your platform. A lot of fake stuff, a lot of scams, that type of thing. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it is what's happening right now. It's like they've got to build their trust back up because a lot of people don't even trust Amazon as much anymore. Like, I ordered something, but I didn't even get it or this or that.
They're losing market share to Temu. What does that say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yep. So I think I think they're just trying to make it a brand centric platform and just expand, like take over the world probably is what they're really trying to do. So you got to cut out the BS when you're doing that type of thing. Yeah.
I have a prediction. There's going to be a huge shift to Walmart. I think there's going to be a ton of people who shift over there if Walmart can build it out. A lot of us take for granted what Amazon built out with their program, especially their fulfillment program, but Walmart has one as well. The thing is, and I have some friends on it. It's very clunky and there's a lot to know. And it's just very robotic the way their system is built. Basically, I can't speak in terms of like what I don't do it, but from friends, I think there's gonna be a huge shift to Walmart. I hear a lot of sellers talking about it, but they're not talking publicly. It's all, you always know there's something good because you ever have those people in your life who are like, you talk to them, but like, don't tell anyone, don't put it on the YouTube channel. Like there's a lot of that going on. It's like, you don't own the freaking platform. If I want to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. Like, I'm sorry, you have a poverty mindset. There's plenty of money to be made out there. Your money should not be hurt because someone says it on YouTube. If that's your mindset, like you should not be in business. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I wonder how much with the Walmart stuff that it will grow as a platform like that. Like, because the consumer base isn't going to grow. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, I don't know if Walmart's up every year, but I would assume they're not, right?
I don't know that answer. I don't know, but I just know like the general consensus, people are so sick of Amazon.
Yeah.
Even here, customers are sick of Amazon.
Yep.
I just feel like Walmart's going to steal some of their share. I don't know. I'm invested in Walmart too.
They probably will. But.
One thing I've noticed a lot is Walmart is so much quicker shipping than Amazon. Amazon used to be like the 2-day prime and like they advertised 2-day prime. But once COVID happened and they're like, oh, we can't really guarantee it. I feel like they've been like super lax and there's just stuff that I could get faster from like Walmart and Target that versus Amazon, and it's usually cheaper.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm not super educated on this topic. It's more like a feeling. So take it with a grain of salt, but
I think you're right on that for sure. There's going to be people moving over there. I think you're 100% right there.
Yeah.
What else are they going to do? Go to eBay That's not gonna
True.
Walmart's growing more than eBay's growing. That's for sure. So like you don't really have another option than Walmart. I don't think there's another marketplace. Macari's small. You're not gonna go to Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, they'll probably
Poshmark.
Yeah.
I'm going to Etsy, baby.
Yeah, what this guy said, the customer base on Walmart seems to be in a lot of southern states. It's crazy. It's funny you say that because I know a lot of people that order off Walmart, and I'm in a southern place. I think the reason that is because a lot of times in small towns and like low density populations, you'll have a Walmart come in like within a 30-minute distance of like all the small cities, and they will destroy all the other businesses. Like I used to have like Save a Lot and these things near me. Walmart comes in, they drop all the prices, they get all the customers, and then they raise it up, and then from there on, it's just like they just raise their brand awareness. So I think that's why it's in the South.
Interesting. I'm excited to see what the future brings. Like if you just look back over the last like 5 to 10 years, like how many changes there have been, like just like with the Amazon FBA program and like TikTok and Instagram, like all these ways to make money now. It's like insane. And it's like so easy to think like we missed the boat, but just imagine all the different changes with AI and like all these different big like there's just so many opportunities that are going to be coming around the corner. I get excited about this type of stuff.
You mess around with AI a lot?
Not a ton outside of Chat GPT. I use it a lot now. It saves me a ton of time when I'm like, I'll write an email and just run it through it. And it just improves it. Like, cause I'm not really good with like grammar and punctuation and all that stuff. And sometimes it's really hard to like, you could write an email, but to make it actually where it's presentable, like that takes a majority of time to like fudge the words and like structure it. And Chat GPT, like with that saves me a ton of time, but I haven't really gone down the rabbit hole too much, but I use that almost every day for copywriting, for a lot of stuff in terms of, that type of stuff.
I'm deep into it. Bad. I'm like really in the AI stuff. I think that like people don't understand how big that shit's going to be. Like I've been doing similar type of stuff to you, but I'll feed in like 5 documents, have it analyze the documents, do that type of stuff.
How do you feed a document in?
Yeah, you just feed in attachments of documents. If you pay for it, I do cloud.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So like I'll feed in. So I'm in this marketing group, this like mastermind, and they have really long calls, but there's summaries and there's like transcriptions. So you can feed in the transcription, take the points, and then you have like this thing, and you can train the AI based off the stuff you've heard. So I'll talk more after we get off here. I'll tell you like a little thing I did. But it's crazy, man. You can even do, so this is really crazy. You can do like YouTube transcript. So take one of your YouTube videos, you can pull out the transcript, have it summarize it, and then turn it into short form content of the most viral moments or whatever, most controversial, that type of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like really, I think it's been way bigger than people think, especially the stuff like there's a company called Hey Gym where you can take a video yourself for like 2 minutes, and then you can use 11 labs and you can record yourself talking for a few hours, and you can make a fully AI avatar yourself. That's like almost completely real. So it's like way bigger than people think it is.
We could run this video through it, and it's going to be that clip of me telling people to go F themselves.
Yeah.
I can make you I think with a podcast, you could almost make somebody say whatever they want. I can have your voice for sure with how much content we have on the internet. I can make whatever. It's crazy, man.
Oh, I told my parents, if I ever call you and it's like, I need money, I'm locked up in a foreign jail or something, don't believe it. Don't pay me. Let me die. Nope.
Yep. I heard somebody talking about this, a marketing guy, saying that what's going to happen with all this AI stuff and the trust type stuff in the future is when you go on a website for like maybe just a little bit of a higher ticket product and you don't buy or whatever, you'll get emails that are personalized videos of the person on the front of the thing. And you'll be able to mass produce personalized video because the AI will just do the whole thing. It'll look completely real.
Wow.
I think that will come somewhat soon.
Yeah, there's this guy on TikTok who goes around interviewing like billionaires and stuff. He'll like wait out in Houston, and he interviewed some billionaire recently. And he was like, what's the biggest opportunity like to build a business in the future? And the guy was like, AI is where you want to be. And it was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yep. It's awesome stuff. I watched a guy too talk about the other day, these things called like agents. So you can like, eventually, this isn't here yet, be in the next 2 to 5 years or whatever. People will be able to train these AI things to do certain tasks, and it'll get a little bit more creative. So he was saying that what you can do, let's say TikTok gets banned, you can say, code me an app like TikTok and make the algorithm favor this thing. And if that doesn't work and the app doesn't go viral, then I want you to scrap the app and build me a new one and just do it every day. And it'll just repeat the task until you can just like create this thing.
That's insane.
Yeah. And that we're not there yet because it can't do like that complex of a thing all at once. But all it has to do is figure out, I think it's called something about memory. It's like right now you can feed it something. It's like us, you know, if I show you something, you'll probably remember the beginning and the end. Hard to remember the middle of stuff. But whenever it starts remembering the middle and like have this stuff in its memory, it could be like really, that's going to get scary.
So you know how much like the internet overall has evolved from like 2000 to 2024. Like in 2000, like you had the dial up, like modem, whatever, getting on and all that stuff. Like, where do you think AI is compared to like the analogy of like the internet from 2000 to 2024? Like, where do you think we're in 2000 right now with AI?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think that, yeah, I think it's just like barely, because you just said you just use it for your emails. And like, I don't know what John used it for, but something similar. And like, I'm way far ahead of you guys and I'm still way down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like eventually, like everyone's going to go through these stages of like how much you use the internet. Yeah. It's like, right. I see usually everybody uses it like you guys, you're just feeding it like basic information. That's like a flip phone, but then there's like an iPhone and then it's like, it keeps going up. I think that's what's going to happen, especially when people realize you can kind of like outsource your life to that stuff, which it's scary. I think it's almost more scary than anything, but yeah, it's going to happen. There's no slowing it down.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I've been going an hour and 40 minutes, man. We took up too much of your time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all good, but no, I had fun, man. This was a good call. I I don't do a lot of podcasts, but this is fun. We talked a little Amazon, but we got into some pretty interesting topics. It's like Joe Rogan style.
For sure.
That's how we want to do it, man. I told him at the beginning, we'd started this thing. Everything's so interviewee. And I was like, we need to have these as discussions. Like, that's what I like to listen to, is a discussion. You ask questions, we'll ask you questions. More of like a talk than a, hey, this.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Awesome. Excited to see you in Vegas.
Where can people follow you?
Yeah. So you can check me out on all social media at Raiken Profit. And yeah. I'm all over the place, so definitely check me out if you're interested in selling books, reselling online, eBay to Amazon, all that good stuff. But yeah, Drew, John, thanks so much. Pumped to see you in Vegas, John.
Yeah, can't wait. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace.